Oh my gosh.
Hi, y'all.
Okay, so today we're going to watch clips from prior episodes.
Yes, and react to them.
It took 2 attempts to get a PhD. My first attempt, I was in the 5th year, which I was very close to finishing for those of us who are pursuing PhDs, and I quit. And I was doing well. I had probably a 3.8 grade point average. I had passed my proposals, my preliminary examination. I had done everything except written my dissertation.
Wow.
And the depression was so overwhelming, and I remember the day so well. And when I decided to quit, no one asked why. No one...
Like never.
No one. Yeah, it was never a conversation like, why would you do this? And so, yeah. So that's
crazy.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let's sit right there for a
Yeah.
second.
Marinate.
I need to, exist in this space.
Yeah.
Not a single human being at your institution said, Stacy, are you okay?
Not one.
This was Georgia Tech.
No, I'm not going to name the school. It wasn't Georgia Tech.
You're not going to get any tea tonight?
We're not going to get any tea. I have even some deeper tea.
Oh.
So there was one black female in the College of Engineering, and I went to her probably a week before I made the decision to quit, and I told her, this is what I'm going through, and she said, so what you want me to do?
What? Where are my pearls?
So
Man, that even hurts to see again. Like, we were there when she told us the first time, and that double hurts. Whoo, child. I have a lot of thoughts.
I was just upset that nobody said a word to her.
Right.
Like, how could you not say a word to somebody who you know they're struggling because you can see it
easily,
right? So I had a traumatic PhD experience. You had a traumatic PhD experience.
We bonded over our trauma the first time we met, literally.
So people knew you weren't unhappy, right?
Yeah.
And people asked.
Literally, when I changed advisors, people were like, oh, I'm so glad you're not working with him anymore. Oh, so if you saw the issue and just walked around with blinders on in the department, you were willingly part of this.
Meanwhile, I was like, I'm unhappy.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I was telling our personal trainer today, you will know if I don't want to do something.
It will not be a secret.
No, I'm not going to just hold it all in. I do hold stuff in, but if I'm uncomfortable, everybody else is going to be uncomfortable too until we can figure out a solution to the problem. Because it's not me. I'm not the problem.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm actually not shocked with what she said, because I don't think I said it in the time, but this is making me remember I met another Black woman who would have been the first Black woman to get her PhD at Michigan. And when I started teaching at Wayne State, she was also in that department. And she was like, oh, I started at Michigan. She miscarried twins during her PhD. And she was in such a depression, kind of like what Stacy was talking about, and same sort of story. Nobody cared. They're like, oh, you're not built for this. So why is all of a sudden this now a question of my abilities? If I'm going through something mentally, something where this has anything to do with my brain or my academic power, there's something outside of my control that's happening, and you just don't care. Like, they just do not care.
I feel like as a faculty member now that has graduate students.
Yes.
I never in a million years could watch them be miserable.
Right.
And not say a word.
Right. My student had to get his tooth out. And I was like, do you need a ride from the dentist? Like, I cannot imagine. Not a word. Not you're seeing this happen. You're observing it. This person's clearly different. And you're just acting like you don't see anything.
It's gross.
And then she went to someone else and she said, what do you want me to do about it? This is why you have to have your own community and pick your community. Because I know when I was going through my stuff at the end, my community was like, okay, you can have this little cry for about 10 minutes, but we're going to start strategizing and figuring out how to get you out of this. So it's unfortunate that whatever school she was at, that will not be named, that where this happened, that there wasn't that community where you could feel safe to be like, okay, this might be happening, but here's some support to get out of this.
Wild.
super, super wild. But I mean, that is the importance of just having people who have your back. And when you go to a school, and if you're figuring out like what school you want to go to, look at the community, like look at the labs, look at the people there. Are they supported? I would even ask, what resources are there for graduate students with mental health concerns? And if people look at you like, what are you talking about?
Okay, but
Run.
like when she was in school, we weren't in this mental health
that wasn't
moment
the conversation
where it was like wellness, mental health, like that's not where she was. So, but even still, there's people who aren't even aware that we have these resources for students. And the fact that we have to have them for students is very telling.
Yeah.